the doubt, they counting me out, I'm getting it in, yeah. No time for no loss, I'm paying the cost, I'm ready to win, yeah. Diffuse, mine, it can't be diffused. If you ain't thinking the same, then we playing by different rules. You can't see the vision, we living at different views. Until we complete the mission, keep getting up, never snooze. I walked a mile in my shoes, had the mind of a fool, chasing diamonds and jewels. Trust me, I was confused. Started minding my business and used my mind as a tool. Ended up finding my purpose and found the time to get to it. They told me I couldn't do it, they told me I couldn't make it. They sold it, could never break it. That's sadly mistaken. I need a piece of the pie, I want it so bad I can taste it. They told me like told me, keep on running, toes they gon' take them. Refuse to lose, built to win. Apply myself, I felt it in.
Welcome to Unfazed with myself, JJ, and my boy AJ, or should I say Super Bowl champion AJ 2K, two-time 2X, I should say, right? Hit the K on, put 2X.
Yes, sir.
We here on Unfazed, y'all. We got a great episode for y'all today. As y'all know, the Philadelphia Eagles defeated the Kansas City Chiefs in blowout fashion. Don't look at the score. It was a blowout fashion, all right? But before we get started and talk about this game and everything that happened inside this game, AJ, how you feeling, man? How you feeling?
Man, Joe, it's hard to put in words, man. I'm gonna try not to get emotional in this episode, man. I'm gonna try not to get emotional live, man. But it feels good to be a two-time champ, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, Joe. It feels great to be a two-time Super Bowl champion and to see both of them in my lifetime, bro. 2017, this past year happened in my lifetime. Old enough for me to have a legal drink both times, bro. Like, it's hard to put in words, man. But I'm gonna do the best I can. I'm gonna do the best I can for the fans, man. But I'm feeling great, man. I'm feeling like a two-time Super Bowl champion today, man. That's I can't see with these shades on, but you know.
I can't see with these shades on. All right. let's get right to it, man. Let's get right to it. So I'm gonna hit you with the first question. Now, AJ, for those who tuned in to Unfazed last week, we gave our keys to success. We gave who do we think will determine the game, the outcome, and your answer was Vic Fangio. And Vic Fangio did a number. He had one of his best defensive calling games I've seen ever. All right, at the biggest stage. So we're gonna grade it though. So I want you to give the viewers your letter grade for Vic Fangio and his defense.
Joe, first off, I just want to say I'd be lying if I said I expected what I saw. If you remember, I said, Vic, put us in position. Give us an opportunity. I did not expect to look up in the third quarter. These are Super Bowl champion shades. That's what those shades. Super Bowl champion shades. That's what those are. I did not expect to look up in the third quarter and for the Chiefs to have 0 points on the board. 0, Joe. I looked up. It was 34-0, Joe. We at the party, man. I'm at an Eagles function. We in that. We live. We live, Joe. 34-0. Joe, Patrick Mahomes. Some people say he the GOAT. I say he right up there. I'm not going to say he the GOAT, especially after what we just saw, but he up there. It was conversations about him potentially being the GOAT if he won this game, won Super Bowl MVP, comparisons to Tom Brady and everybody else. Shout out to my boy Ant watching. He jumped on board too, man. He jumped on board. Shout out to my boy Ant, man. Shout out to my boy Ant, man. We needed his cheers. We needed his cheers. Patrick Mahomes, 11.4 QBR in this game, bro. 11.4 total QBR. Do you hear what I just said, bro? 11.4 total QBR from Patrick Mahomes. 3 turnovers. It's the most in his playoff career. These boys trailed in this game for 51 minutes and 15 seconds, bro. That's basically the whole game. That is basic. That's pretty. I don't remember a time where they had to lead. If I had to give Vic Fangio a letter grade, I'd have to give him an A+, bro. I couldn't give him anything lower. And what I'll say about it is this. I love the things he did on the back end, but he didn't even have to, bro. Because the front four wreaked havoc all game long. It felt like the New York Giants versus Tom Brady. That's what it felt like. It felt like the Seahawks versus Peyton Manning. That's what it felt like. They wreaked havoc all game long to the point where for the maybe literally the first time in Patrick Mahomes' career, since I've watched him since he was a rookie in the league, Joe. For the first time, I watched the game and said, Pat looks frazzled, bro. Pat looked out of it. There were times where he was just running into the defensive line, bro. There were times where he had a pocket and he ran into the defenders. And I'm watching the game like, oh, he looked punch drunk out here. Like he not used to taking this type of punishment in the pocket. All his running around and escaping and all of that. We got athletic guys on that defensive line that got to him all game long, bro. So that defensive performance, man, we're going to get to Hurts in the offense pretty soon. But that defensive performance, man, they deserve an A+. I can't give them nothing lower than that. They didn't start scoring like that till we put the bench guys in. We put the bench in the Super Bowl, Joe. In the Super Bowl, we had the bench players in. That's when they really started making plays. So I got to get his defense and Vic Fangio. I think they said he's been in the league coaching for 38 years. This is his first Super Bowl. Shout out to Vic Fangio. He did more than put us in position to win that game. He did his thing. He was prepared. He had the defense ready. He had them guys ready to go. I got to give him an A+, bro. Without a shadow of a doubt. He deserves an A+.
Can I give him an A++++?
Man.
It was beautiful, man. It was a beautiful execution. One thing I like about him, he did not blitz like you said, but he stuck to his guns. He didn't send out one blitz the whole game. And they ran zone almost 60% of the game. Mm-hmm. So they ran zone, trusted his back end, trusted his front forward, and they create pressure all game. The first half, 20 dropbacks, 10 pressures. Second half, 42 drops. The whole game, 42 dropbacks, 16 pressures, 6 sacks. That's crazy in the Super Bowl. And like you said, and I said this in the other show, Mahomes, a lot of these sacks were on Mahomes. Mahomes trying to run up the middle and somebody grab him. Run up the middle, try to get to a crease, somebody grab him. And then I know Carl mentioned this, his timing of his clock was moving a little faster. And then he was anticipating the rush much sooner than it should have been. And it ended up in the sack. So the defense 1 yard is the offense played well. But the defense was the main story because I felt like the defense of the Chiefs, they did what they could. You know what I mean? Like one of my keys to success for the Chiefs were defending one-on-one. Because they're going to be one-on-one opportunity because Saquon going to be focused on. And they did a great job with Saquon. I got to give them that. They kind of shut him down. But they kept getting beat one-on-one. I mean, you just got to tip your hat off to the Eagles, bro. They got weapons. You know what I mean? Like, I can't get mad at it. First throwing a good ball, there's good catches. I'll give it to y'all. But the score was 10-0. 10-0. Almost halftime. And Mahomes throws a pick six on third down, AJ.
Fresh off 2 sacks. We got 2 sacks. Then he threw the pick. Cooper DeJean's, my bad for interrupting. Cooper DeJean's first interception of his career in the Super Bowl on his birthday against Patrick Mahomes going for a 3-peat. Pick 6, bro. Think about that, bro. Bro, that's greatness from a rookie, bro. That's greatness from a rookie.
Shout out to him, man. That was just that was terrible. And then the pick 6 happened. And then the defense come back on the field against y'all and get a stop. And y'all punt it. And I know everybody, even you, was probably like, they get the ball at half. If they get a touchdown, okay, we gotta get a stop right here, y'all. You want to think of a turnover? Let's get a stop. I was like, okay, Mahomes, you've done this. You've been down before. Tom Brady's the broadcaster, 28-3. Just get some points this drive. You get 3 points, you get a touchdown at the start of the half. It's a one possession game. What he does, he on the first play throws it right to Zach Vaughn. I was like, yo, confused, seeing ghosts.
He got hit too. He got hit a little bit.
He got hit. Yeah, he got hit. And also, like, y'all had him rattled the pressure. Like, it was one third down play. He tried to run it through it, and it was a bad pass. And it had a first down, but he just overthrew him. He was right in front of him too. Like, y'all defense was phenomenal. Phenomenal. All right. So Josh Sweat led the Eagles in sacks, 2.5 sacks. Right. Was this a half a sack short from a Super Bowl record? So if he'd had 3 sacks, that would have been a record for the Super Bowl. All right. He thought he should have won MVP. I
saw that.
He needed a turnover, bro. If he had a turnover, then yeah.
Then it'd set it off. It'd set it off then. But come
2.5 sacks. Come on, bro. Like, no.
Nah, that's not it, bro. That's not it, bro.
I get you. So in the Eagles, y'all 14-0 when y'all hold y'all opponent to under 350 yards this year. 14-0. The Chiefs had 275 in the Super Bowl, which is good, right? So, and y'all and the Eagles are the second team to not allow an opposing running back to gain 10 plus rushing yards in the Super Bowl. That's one thing. I kept on one-dimensional too in the first half. They ran the ball one time in the first half.
Yep.
So
some of that was on coaching though. Some of that
Andy
was just
Reid,
bad
what are you
coaching.
doing?
Yeah, man. He went back to his old habits when he coached us. That's how he coached us in Philly. All we did was throw the ball, bro. It's like, bro, hand it to Westbrook, bro. Give it to bro. Drop back pass. If Westbrook getting the ball, it's a screen.
And it's not like I know, right? It's not like the one time they ran it, they had negative yards. I think they gained like 3 yards. I played or something like that, 2 or 3 yards. He went forward. So. Yeah, man. Shout out to our defense, man. The score don't really tell the game. It was 34-0 at one point. Like Vic Fangio did his thing.
He balled out, bro. And like I said, he's seen Patrick Mahomes now. That was his 9th time, bro. If anybody knows him, it's him, bro. It is him. It is Vic Fangio. If anybody knows Pat, it's Vic Fangio. Now, I do want to respond to my boy Ant. Patrick Mahomes was running around like crazy against the Buccaneers. I don't know that I walked away from that game saying he looked rattled, though.
It was everybody else.
Guys was not only was he running around, guys was dropping passes, guys wasn't making plays, they weren't getting defensive stops. So I didn't think he played amazing in that game. He had constant pressure in his face, but he still had those Mahomes-like plays where it's like, yo, really, if dog would have like that play where he got tripped up and he fall into the ground and he threw it, I think to Tariq Hill in the end zone and he dropped it.
He dropped it right in the end zone.
He still had those moments. Dog, he in our game, and there's no shot at the Buccaneers. Respect them as champions in 2021. But in our game, he seemed so like he seemed shocked, bro. Like he seemed shocked. And one thing I said behind the scenes, I didn't say this on the show, but one thing I said behind the scenes to Kev was they have not seen Saquon Barkley. Like, Saquon had never played them before. They hadn't seen Saquon Barkley. What I also forgot to say and even think of, bro, they really have not seen this defense, bro, the way it's been playing. It's the best defense in football. And when you watch it, I don't know if there was a defense that was close, bro. The way they was able to force turnovers, get pressure, like no shot at any other team in their defense. But the way this defense played in the playoffs, they got multiple turnovers in every game of the playoffs, bro, including the wild card round. Patrick Mahomes, Matt Stafford, Jordan Love, like, bro. Every game we got turnovers. Jaden Daniels, he threw a pick at the end of the game, but we forced 2-3 fumbles. Yeah. Like, this defense was the Chiefs looked shell-shocked, bro. They looked shell-shocked.
I will say there was another time I seen Mahomes look rattled was when they lost to the Bengals in the second half. Couldn't recognize him.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Could not recognize
him. The playoffs a couple years ago when yes.
I couldn't recognize him for real. I'm like, what the world? He had bad throws. He threw a pick in overtime. I think it was crazy. So, but Vic Fangio, man, like, yeah, We talked about it. Probably the best we've seen since Legion of Boom.
Yeah. Yeah.
Talked about it, bro. And that's what it
Joe.
looked like. Sorry.
Oh, you good. You good.
You know, AJ, you kicking off every topic today. All right, this is your day.
I was gonna ask. I was gonna ask you about the next one too. So okay, I was like, bro, kick me off for the next one, bro. I was definitely gonna ask, bro, kick me off for the next one, bro. I definitely was. I'm not gonna lie.
I got you. But I do want to respond to your boy too. All right, Anthony. But like the Buccaneers, like I said, this game is not like that game. This game is more like the Seahawks and Broncos. That's what this game reminded me of. Like we talking about defensive domination, and they couldn't really and big plays on offense. So that's what. And Percy Harvin went crazy that game too. But
yeah, facts.
All right, so AJ, it's your day, man. It's your day. It's your week. It's your off season.
Man.
So QB hurts. QB1. AP hurts. We heard it all. AJ's guy, Jalen Hurts, redemption season. They go off last year, lose to the Buccaneers, come back to everybody's trashing him throughout the year. Saquon doing this thing, everybody trashing him. Are you worried about the offense? I say you should be a tad bit. Get to the NFC Championship game, play good. Get to the Super Bowl, play good again, and he won Super Bowl MVP. So, and also the first running quarterback to win Super Bowl. All right, if you're not gonna count Russ, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So AJ, what does this win mean for Jalen Hurts' career?
Oh man, bro. Jalen Hurts is my favorite player in the entire football league, bro. I don't know if there's anybody that ride for Jalen more than me, bro. To be honest, I just don't think there are. And before I get to that, I want to take a trip down memory lane. I remember when Jalen Hurts got drafted to Philadelphia. Story time. I was like, what the hell are we doing? That's my first thought. What are we doing? We just signed Carson Wentz to this lucrative deal that literally that same offseason, if I'm not mistaken. I'm still thinking Carson Wentz is the guy. I'm a loyal guy, especially with my quarterbacks. I'm very loyal to my quarterbacks. I thought Kevin Kolb was nice for a little bit. Just did. So I'm like, what are we doing, man? This don't make sense to me, right? But then after I had time to think about it, my next thought was, you know, it would be nice to have a guy to come in to spell for Wentz when he get hurt, because Wentz is always hurt. So it'd be nice to have a guy that can move around, get outside the pocket, make a couple plays here and there. Well, as we all know, Wentz, I should say, Wentz fell off like the next year or two, just completely fell off the map. And I remember coming out and being like, yo, just give Hurts a chance. You drafted him for a reason. You spent a second round pick on Jalen Hurts. Just throw him out there and see what he could do, right? And it took us dang near all season to do it. We kept using him as a gadget guy. Bro. And I'm like, yo, just give him an opportunity to run the offense. Teams haven't had a chance to really game plan for him. They don't really know what he has. They don't have a ton of NFL. They got college film, but they don't got NFL film. Just give him a chance. And I remember we threw him out there against the Saints, and he ran all over the Saints. I'm like, yo, he can play. But then there was the Cardinals game where he went tit for tat with those guys. Tit for tat. Made plays left and right, running, throwing, everything. And I remember thinking at that point, yo, bro is different. He got it factor. I don't even know if it's fully developed yet, but it's just eye test wise, ignoring the numbers, eye test wise, it looks different. I mean, he moving outside of the pocket. He's making clutch plays. We end up losing that game, but it wasn't because of him. Our defense gave up points at the end. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, he dropped like 34 points or something along those lines. Came down the field, tied the game up, the whole shebang. Cardinals was good at the time. I'm like, yo, dog, I can kind of see how we drafted him. I can see it. Going into the next season, right? You get Devontae Smith. He has a tough start to the season. And I ain't gonna lie, Joe. I'm like, maybe I was wrong. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, we're not really using them right. We're not using his wheels. We're not doing what we need to do. Lo and behold, Nick Sirianni gives up offensive coordinator duties to Shane Steichen. Shane Steichen using his legs. I said again, he's different. I think we go into the playoffs. We were 3-6 at the time, 2021. I said, I think we're going to make the playoffs. I can see us making a run because at this point, we're not losing these games because of Jalen Hurts. Our defense ain't really getting stops. I seen them go toe-to-toe at that time with Patrick Mahomes in a loss. I seen them go toe-to-toe at that time with Justin Herbert in a loss, running, throwing, doing everything, leading us in passing, rushing, touchdowns, both. I'm seeing it all. I'm like, bro, is different. We gonna make the playoffs. We go on the run. We make the playoffs. We get smacked upside the head by the reigning defending champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, if we could just get another piece, I think we got something here. But you know what I dealt with that whole offseason, Joe? And this is where I'm talking to you. Some of y'all Eagles fans fake. I'm going to just call it like how I see it. Some of y'all fake. Because I see how y'all talk about Jalen Hurts too. Everybody wanted him gone that offseason. Let's go get Russell Wilson. Let's go get Deshaun Watson. Let's go draft the player. And I went toe-to-toe with everybody in my comment section, everybody in the ESPN comment section, everybody on all the Eagles fan pages. And I'm like, do y'all not see what I see? I know the numbers ain't all the way there. I know, I understand that. But bro, carried us. We was projected to win 4 games this year, y'all. 4 games. And dog got us to 9 wins and got us to a playoff berth. And y'all want to trade him for Russell Wilson? Y'all think we a quarterback away from winning the Super Bowl? No. Deshaun Watson? We not a quarterback away from winning the Super Bowl, y'all. Let's keep Jalen Hurts. Let him continue to develop on, at the time, a rookie contract, which was low for a second rounder. And let's see what we can do from there. Let's see if Howie, who we know can build a team, let's see if Howie can put some pieces around him to make it work. Not only do we need help offensively at the receiver spot, we throwing the ball at Jalen Reagor, right? We also need help on defense, yo. We need another corner. We need a better defensive line. We need pieces. It ain't just about him. He wasn't flawless. But, Joe, I knew what I saw. I knew what I saw, bro. 2022. I ain't got to tell that story. We get A.J. Brown. He has a sensational season. And I went back to them same comment sections because I can be real petty, Joe. I can be petty. I save everything. I send it. I DM it to myself. I'm going to come back to this. I'm going to come back. And I mentioned all of you. So what do y'all? So let's look at Russell. What's Russell Wilson doing right now? He in the playoffs? What's Deshaun Watson doing right now? He playing well? No, you don't. He goes off, has that season, goes to the Super Bowl, loses, gets his deal. You still got some Eagles fans hating. You still got some media members hating. But at that point, in my opinion, given what I've seen, which is why I always debated so much about Jalen Hurts, at that point, I know what I've seen. I knew he had the it factor. I knew he could play. I knew he was a winner before then. 2022 validated it. I'm good. But then you had 2023. Took a step back. Turning the ball over like crazy, right? He had a solid start to the season, right? Team fell off. It wasn't just him. Nobody brings up the fact that our defense went from top 10 to the worst in the NFL the back half of the season. Nobody talks about the fact, Joe, that we fired our defensive coordinator towards the back half of the season. Nobody talks about these things, Joe. They only talk about Jalen Hurts. Like he didn't play well in some of those games down the stretch. It wasn't like he was terrible down the stretch. He played well in some of those games. But we just was not good enough as a team to win. We were not good enough as presently constructed, didn't have the chemistry we needed, and we was fresh off of a Super Bowl loss. We weren't mentally there. But Jalen Hurts got a lot of the flack, and I gave him some too. Because, hey, you got to be a better leader. But I knew coming into this season, he will be solid. We get Saquon Barkley. He takes the back seat, and he's been getting slandered all year. All year. Joe, do you know in 2 Super Bowls, because he's been to 2, 44 of 60 passing the football. Passing, not running, passing. Do you know he has 525 passing yards in those 2 games? Against the Kansas City Chiefs defense that's pretty good. It's respected. Especially this year, it's respected. You know, he got 7 total touchdowns in those games. Just in the Super Bowls. 2 turnovers. Just in the Super Bowl games. No other game, just in 2 Super Bowl games. Do you know he's given us 2 of the best Super Bowl performances we have seen from a quarterback? This man has 10 total touchdowns. The only quarterback with 10 passing touchdowns and 10 rushing touchdowns in a playoff career in history. In history. Right now, let me get my numbers together. Right now, Joe, 46-20 in the regular season. He has a 6-3 postseason record. He is a 2-time Pro Bowler, a one-time second-team All-Pro member, a 2-time NFC champion, 2-time NFC East champion, a Super Bowl champion, and a Super Bowl MVP. He also has one of the highest win percentages since 2000, behind Brady, Mahomes, Big Ben, Russ, Lamar, and then there's Hurts. So when you ask me, what does this mean for Jalen Hurts' career, given everything I just said, bro? I think he's undeniably top 5 in the NFL. And like I've said before, I set the table purposely. I said if Jalen Hurts go out there and win this game, and he wins Super Bowl MVP, he building a Hall of Fame caliber resume. And at this point, given the rushing numbers, even the passing numbers on the biggest stages, the winning percentage, the fact that he's now a Super Bowl champion and a Super Bowl MVP, he's undeniably building a Hall of Fame resume, better, in my opinion, than a lot of the guys we respect. I ain't gonna throw no names out there because this ain't about them. It's about Hurts. Jalen Hurts in that upper echelon, bro. And he might not be an elite passer. He might not even be an elite runner. He might not be elite at everything, but he has elite it factor, elite big game abilities, and he is an elite winner. And as an Eagles fan, that's all I can ask for. And the last thing I'll say, and I'll pitch it to you, Joe, he is undeniably, in my book, the greatest Philadelphia Eagles quarterback of all time. The greatest Philadelphia Eagles quarterback of all time. That's Jalen Hurts. Saquon Barkley ran the ball for like 54 yards or something like that, for the people who don't know at home. For all of the people that said, make Jalen Hurts beat you, granted, the defense plays sensational. Not going to take away from that because that obviously helped. But Saquon Barkley was shut down. And at every turn, Jalen Hurts made plays with his arm and with his leg. Set a record for the most rushing yards by a quarterback in the previous Super Bowl. Then came back and broke it the second time. It's what can we say, Joe? All I can say is I knew he could do this since 2020. I knew he had it in him, bro. And I'm happy to be right about him, bro. I'm happy to be right about him, bro.
Well said. Well said, though. Now, let me take you down memory lane with me and Hurts. All right. So, first of all, I second that. He's the biggest Hurts supporter I ever met in my life. All right. So, I want to say that. I do got to give shout out to Cav, though. We had an Eagles guy, Joe Castro, come on the show. And it was right after that 2021 season you're talking about. Right after that. And we had a question, what is Hurts' expectations? And Joe Castro wasn't too high on Hurts. He wasn't. But Kev came on the back end and defended Hurts. He said he's not going to be a typical quarterback with all the stats. He's going to be a mixture of, and sorry, Kev, I'm quoting you wrong, Lamar Jackson and Tom Brady. That's what he said. And we were like, right, chill. You're naming the perfect quarterback, right? But that's not what he meant, though. He's not saying like he's going to be as good as Lamar. He was saying like the type of quarterback he would be similar to Lamar, like a running pass type quarterback, and the mindset with Brady. And he kind of nailed it. So when y'all drafted Hurts, I didn't really think too much of it, tell you the truth, because Carson Wentz was the man, right? And I remember when y'all went to the playoffs and lost to the Seahawks. And I gave Carson Wentz a lot of praise that year because y'all had so many injuries that year. We talking about the 49ers dealing with injuries. That year, Carson Wentz didn't have not one 500-yard receiver. right? So his guy was Zach Ertz. Receivers, he didn't have. It was injury galore in that Philly year, and they beat out Dallas the game before the last game to get to the playoffs. I remember that when Dak did the interception in the game, by the way. But so Carson Wentz, and then get to the Seahawks. Jadeveon Clowney hit some with a dirty hit, knocked them out, and they lost. Which I thought they would have won if Carson Wentz never got hurt.
You ain't the only one.
But then you and me both believe our team would have beat the Seahawks if our QBs never got hurt. Shout out to RG3. All right. So, but then the year after that was 2020. No, that was 2019. 2020 happened. And then 2020 is my first introduction of Hurts for real. So Hurts comes in, I think, during the season, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I know what game you're talking about too, the Cardinals game. He had like 300 some yards, like 3 or 4 touchdowns. I remember that game, right? But I remember it's Dougie P's last year, and he knew he was gonna get fired. And we played y'all last game of the season. We need this win to get to the playoffs. Hurts, I'm not gonna say he was destroying us, but Hurts was moving the chains. Like he was a weapon. And I remember y'all benched him.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, thank you, God. I was like, thank you. Because this dude, I'm clipped up on R2L. That when we played y'all in 2021, I made the playoffs. I was like, Hurt scares me because he's a playmaker. He can use his legs and stuff like that. And then 2021 happens. First half of the season. The game I remember the best because I remember walking to I walked like 20-some minutes because my wife had a car. I had no keys. I got to lock myself out. So I walked to a bar like 20 minutes away and watched the Eagles versus the Cowboys game in Dallas. And he threw a pick six. He was throwing the ball a lot. And then I remember walking away from that game like, yo, he's throwing the ball too much. And then I changed the play caller. And then he started running the ball a lot more. Y'all started winning more games. I remember that Chiefs game. It was y'all forced the Chiefs to score. That's how I remember. Like y'all was putting up points. Y'all put up over 30 points that game. Am I not mistaken? The Chiefs had to put up some points that game. Yep. So I remember that. I remember, you won't believe this. On R2L, we was making our playoff picks. Mark picked y'all to upset the Buccaneers. I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't know that. Yep,
me, Dave, and Coach Coombs and Mark was on the panel, and we picked the first round playoffs, and he picked y'all. So, but then 2022 happened. 2022 is when I really didn't like the Eagles because of Cav. I ain't gonna lie to you, right? I never really had smoke for the Eagles trail outside of Blaze. And then Cass started talking crazy. And then I had smoke for y'all, whatever, but I respect the Hurts, right?
Right.
Not that much. I gained a lot of respect for Hurts when the Super Bowl loss he had. I remember coming on R2 the next day, and I said that he's top 5. I said he's a top 5 quarterback, although he lost, he's top 5. Because the example I always use was Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow made it to the Super Bowl, but I never put him up there with Josh Allen and then like everybody else did because he beat Mahomes. I didn't think he beat Mahomes. He didn't beat Mahomes. He was a quarterback, but the defense carried Joe Burrow that whole playoff run. And then he got the Super Bowl. People forget he the one that took the last sack of the game that ended the Super Bowl. So I never put that respect. The reason why I put respect on Jalen Hurts' name because he balled out. He wasn't the reason why they lost. It was the defense. Then the next year happened, and you were really introduced into the chat, right? So I had you and Cat to deal with. And then you was proclaiming him being the top 2 quarterback at the time. Top three. Top three, my bad. Top 3. Yep. And I disagree with that. So I disagree with that, and because I had him top 5, but then somebody said, what about Aaron Rodgers? Now I'm looking back at it. I shouldn't have put Aaron Rodgers in there, but now I'm moving him back to 6, all right?
Right.
So, but top 3 I didn't agree with. So my critique was always grading him on the top 3 scale. So I would always I was tough on Hurts. 2023 happened. I had him in the MVP conversation, not the MVP favorite, but I say he was only in the conversation because he was winning he was winning games for y'all. He was clutch. That's why I said he was super clutch. The one game I really remember, the Buffalo Bills game. He was the the only reason y'all won that game. And he had like 5 touchdowns, something like that.
Yep.
So 2023 happened, and I'm like, yeah, Hurts, he kind of fell off, right? He kind of had one really good year. So we're gonna put him outside the top 5. All right. I don't think I ever said that really, but my mind was
it was noted. It was one of those things that was like unspoken, but
outside the top 5.
I took him out of top 5 after that year. So
and then this year happened. all the Eagles fans that said, "Oh, it wasn't no locker room issues," Saquon said it was some issues, and they had to have a meeting after they won the Super Bowl. That's what happens when y'all win a Super Bowl. The truth comes out, and you can actually tell the real story, right? So AJ Brown gets hurt. First, Hurst had all these turnovers, but y'all win the first game, and he actually played good too outside of turnovers. And then AJ Brown gets hurt. Smitty gets hurt for a while, and then it was just bad, right? Y'all lost to the Buccaneers, y'all lost to the Falcons by margin, but the Buccaneers game was the game though. It was right before the bye week. Y'all were terrible that game. And I remember I was like, "Yo, I was trolling you." You know what I mean? I was on your line because we was winning.
Yeah.
And then Kellen Moore, he switched it up, or Nick Sirianni, whoever it was, and y'all ran the ball more. Hurst just did his part, and I don't think I ever like killed Hurts throughout the season. You remind me if I did. I don't think I did kill him in the season. My smoke was more so for Nick Sirianni because of how y'all ended last year and how y'all started off this year. So then we get to the playoffs and we had that famous episode, all right? Should we be worried about the offense? And I said, what's Hurts' resume?
Jay Hurts the best quarterback in the NFL, y'all. Now, while we have this commercial break, I just came in to say he really is the best in the league. You know what I mean? He's the best in the league. Saquon Barkley, best running back in the NFL. You know what I mean? AJ Brown, best receiver in the NFL. We know the defense is the best in the league. We know that. You know what I mean? Figured I'd get that out while we having this commercial break. All right, go ahead, continue, Joe.
Yeah, I think my son, he in a Hurst man. He was like, "Hold on, Daddy, you
getting tripping, right.
All right, my bad, y'all. I'm sorry. But
family first.
All right, he a JD5 fan, y'all. I'm sorry, y'all. He a JD5 fan. But my whole
had that famous episode. We had that. Famous
episode when I said, "What's Hurts' resume?" And then I kind of had to fix that statement, right? But basically, I feel like Hurts, you know, and I'm not gonna lie, it's we're not gonna go there today. But one thing Hurts did, what I respect, and I said it last episode. You said, Joe, Hall of Fame career, all that stuff, and I end up on the back end of your statement. I'm like, you know what? I'll put him in my top 5, but I got Hurts in my top 4. Yeah. And I got pushback for that, by the way. I got obviously the top 3, Josh Allen, not in order, Josh Allen, Lamar, and Mahomes. And I put Hurts at 4 because Burrow didn't make the playoffs. I'm sorry. He didn't make the playoffs. And then we can't keep saying it's his defense. I never heard a quarterback that got an excuse for not making the playoffs because of defense. I remember Lamar Jackson didn't have a defense all year, the first half, and he was still winning games last time I checked.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I put Hurts in my top 4. Because I gotta respect Super Bowl MVP. And it's not just that. It's because the fact that he was an All-Pro 2 years ago. If he was not an All-Pro, AJ, he probably wouldn't be my top 4. I probably put him on top 5 because it's not really a solid 5th person. But because he showed that individual war, like, yo, I'm the guy.
I can still do this.
Yeah, I'm the guy. He showed that, which was that All-Pro year, and he lost both of the games he didn't play, and then. This year, he wasn't. Saquon was the guy, but he was the guy in the Super Bowl. So I got to respect that. And my last thing is this, the Hall of Fame. I'm going to say this. Y'all have a team that's built to go back-to-back. All right? If y'all go back-to-back and Hurts wins another Super Bowl MVP and he wins All-Pro, I would say you're a Hall of Famer.
Oh, wow.
Eli got 2 Super Bowls. His only wins came on the Super Bowl run, by the way. 2 Super Bowl MVPs, and he's considered to be a Hall of Famer. Considered. And because he started Tom Brady. Y'all start the 3-peat, number 1. And y'all will go back-to-back, which this is considered a dynasty, number 1. In the NFL, back-to-back is a dynasty. And then on top of that, 2 All-Pros and 2 Super Bowl MVPs, you got to be Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I have to agree. Like I said, that's why I said I haven't gone as far as to think what he'd have to do to make it. But my biggest point was he's building that. And that's something that a lot of people never thought they'd be able to say, including myself. I always said he had it factor. But Hall of Fame didn't enter my mind until the Commanders game. And then it's like, all right, let's really think about this resume. Like, let's really think about what he's accomplished. If he's able to win this game and win Super Bowl MVP against Mahomes, I believe this is the second time he has outplayed Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. Now, that's just me. It might be an outlier opinion. I know he turned the ball over in that first one, just like he did in the second one, except this didn't go for 6 the other way. But in my personal opinion, eye test and numbers wise, I truly felt like he outperformed Patrick Mahomes in both the Super Bowls that he's been in. And Patrick Mahomes is a guy who could still go down as the GOAT. It's still possible. I know a lot of people writing them off now. I'm not completely writing them off right now because he could still rattle some off and be in the conversation. Brady didn't three-peat either, right? Now, he didn't get smoked like this either. But at the same time, like, Patrick Mahomes still has time to catch time. So my biggest thing, bro, is like I've always said, Jalen Hurts has the ability to match whatever the other quarterback on the other side of the ball can do. And one thing I love about Jalen Hurts, bro, I've said this before and I will say it again. He is the epitome of whatever his team needs him to do in order to win. That is what he is going to go out there and be. So I see comments like this. Oh, Hurts got carried.
I read that so wrong. I thought he said Hurts carried.
Oh, no. He said Hurts got carried. By the way, I believe that's a Vikings fan who said that
yeah, you remember
Sam Darnold was the best quarterback in NFC and he was better than Hurts and he had 2 of the worst games we ever seen going into the playoffs and then in the playoffs. Conversation for another day. But I see stuff like that and I'm just thinking to myself, bro, what did y'all say in 2021? People like him. Who carried then? Because I saw a guy and everybody glosses over it, Joe. That's why I always bring it up as a guy who watches every single Eagles game. I'm a real one. I watch every single Eagles game and every moment of the games. I saw a quarterback lead us in every statistical offensive category besides receiving yards and receiving touchdowns, bro. I saw that. I saw him carry us to the playoffs. Nobody wanted to say that, though. They brought up everything else. This ain't no shot at you, Joe, but you know, the schedule and who they played and the division wasn't that good. But bro, they was projected to win 4 games that year. Okay, next year, who carried us then? Yeah, the defense was elite. No question about it, bro. But where was that defense when Hurts was not able to play? Where was they at? Not getting stops to help us win against Dallas. Not doing what needed to be done to win against the Saints. We had to rush Jalen Hurts back to clinch the number 1 seed in the NFC. The Eagles didn't want to do that. We just rest Saquon Barkley, who we about to get to in a second, to ensure that we can make a Super Bowl run. We don't like to do that. We almost had to rush Jalen Hurts back this year to secure our seeding. Thank God Kenny Pickett came in there and got a win. So who carried us then? I'd argue Jalen Hurts carried us then. Team was great. But Jalen Hurts was an MVP candidate and second team All-Pro. 2023, Joe, who carried us then? Because as bad as he was, we don't have 11 wins without Jalen Hurts. I saw 4 or 5 game-winning drives from Jalen Hurts that year. Multiple comeback victories from Jalen Hurts that year. But we don't talk about that. We talk about the turnovers. We don't talk about that. We talk about everything, all the games things went left towards the back end of the season. We don't talk about that. We don't talk about how he carried that year to 11 wins. Whatever is required. We need you to be the guy in 2022. He was the guy. We need you to be the guy in 2021. He was the guy. We need you to be the guy. We need you to. Defense is up and down. We really need you to carry right now. He got us 11 wins, bro. He wasn't perfect, but he was winning games, though, when it mattered. Against some of y'all favorite players, some of y'all favorite teams. And we tend to forget that. And that's my issue with the Sunday when it comes to Jalen Hurts, bro. We forget about what the man has done, bro. These are facts. I'm not making this stuff up. He's done these things in his career. It's happened. So this year, when we get Saquon and how he decides to build a tank because he believes in the quarterback, how we not building like this if he don't believe in his quarterback? It's actually the reverse of what people think. He got Saquon because you can't win. No, he got Saquon because he's looking at the Chiefs like we got to score a lot of points. We got to score more than them. I think initially his thought was we can't rely on this defense. We got to score a lot of points. So any offensive weapon we can add, we're going to add. But guess what? Saquon not in Philadelphia if Jalen Hurts not there. He's one of the reasons why Saquon came to Philly. Guess what? AJ Brown's not in Philadelphia without the relationship with Jalen Hurts. Again, these are facts. So this year, sure, let's hand the ball off to what we about to talk about in a second, the best back in the league. Jalen, you ain't got to do as much this year. But when your number called, we going to need it. We going to need it. Against the Saints, we going to need you to make plays down the stretch. Against the Steelers, they shut down Saquon. We going to need you to make plays and win the game. Commanders, yes, he got that first run against y'all in the NFC Championship game. After that, it was the Hurts show offensively. Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts, Saquon don't have a great game. Jalen, it's going to have to be you today. I didn't mention not one loss, Joe. All those games I just mentioned, we won. So what are we talking about? Honestly, what are we talking about when it comes to Jalen Hurts, bro? It's a crime to have help. But y'all didn't even want to give him credit when he didn't have help and he was still making the playoffs. Y'all didn't even want to give him credit when he didn't have the assistance and was still making the playoffs. Come on, man. There needs to be more respect on Jalen Hurts' name. As a fan that has seen it from day one, bro, Jalen Hurts wasn't supposed to be what he is, bro. For him to make it to this point and to be a Super Bowl champion, a Super Bowl MVP with this team, you would think there's a lot of other players that could win Super Bowl MVP with this team. Just saying. Ain't like he went out there and played like Peyton Manning in a Super Bowl with Denver. Come on, bro. We got to have real conversations, man. And I'm all for being fair, but bro, the hate be crazy to me. Let's be real. And Joe Burrow, last thing, I respect Joe Burrow. I do. Jalen Hurts ain't never missed the playoffs, no matter the talent around him. He always been in the playoffs. And I ain't trying to hear no more about the AFC either. My boy is like 14-2 against the AFC since 2022. So all this talk about could they make this run? Could they? We just beat Pat. So who's to say if we wasn't in the AFC, we'd have beat them on the way to the Super Bowl and smoked whoever came out of the NFC. I'm not tolerating no more Jalen Hurts disrespect, bro. Can't do it.
Yeah, and that's why I put him 4 because what he did prior to the Super Bowl, like he showed the individual heroics before he won this one. Now, he didn't have it truly in his whole run. Like you said, it needed to happen, but he did win Super Bowl MVP. That's big. And he was big against us, too. So, but the All-Pro.
My bad. Go ahead.
No, I said there's an All-Pro and getting his team to the playoffs. Those two, it kind of solidifies that he's not truly being carried because he had to make. Like he made some plays. He made some plays against in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? He made some. Like the one to Jahan Dawson, that's a full-out blitz. It was a couple of third down plays that he gave one to AJ Brown, one to Smitty. He ran. It was one drive. He had 2 big runs on a full-out blitz. Like he was making plays in that Super Bowl. So you gotta give him his credit.
I mean, come on now. That's all I asked for, Joe. That's all I asked for. All these other quarterbacks people want to put over him, they ain't Super Bowl champs, bro. And they look like they need some help too. And that's what nobody want to talk about, Joe. They all look like they need a little help to beat Pat, right? They all look like they ain't nobody doing it.
I'm not going, but like, yo, that defense is crazy though.
Our defense listen, our defense played lights out. And I'm not taking nothing away from our defense. They scored touchdowns for us. So I'm not taking that away from them. I also saw what I saw when he met up with them before. So what he just did, he's already shown he could do that in a previous Super Bowl on the biggest stage, bro. Mm-hmm. Like, again, whatever is required, bro. Whatever, he might not have the best game, might not look pretty, but whatever is required of him in that moment. They shutting down Saquon, bro. We going to need you to make up. So many times I watched this season, we need you to make a play, Jalen. There wasn't a game this year that we lost because of him.
Yeah, he don't lose that game.
Bro, not one game, bro. Not one game. Saquon dropped a pass against the Falcons. He didn't finish the game against y'all. We lost the game against Tampa Bay. Nobody showed up that day.
Yeah.
Nobody, but probably Saquon. He had one big run all game. My bad. I know we need to move on to the next topic. But comments like that, bro, at this point, bro, respect, bro. He is Super Bowl champion, bro. He is Super Bowl MVP, bro. He got a ring on his finger, dog. Enough of the nonsense. Enough of the nonsense.
We gotta clip that out, that part. The whole part just there. But shout out to Tomo with the $4.99 super chat. My boy Tomo. My boy in his bag, I had to drop a super chat. Hurts over Allen. Yeah, he made a case that Hurts should be second behind Mahomes.
Ooh, really? Oh, I gotta go back and watch that.
He wanted to put him above. He wanted to put him above Josh Allen for real. But then,
I gotta go back and watch that.
yeah, he was like Tomo was in his Eagles bag. All right, so
Hey, I respect it. I respect it, man.
So for one great Eagle to another, Saquon Barkley, man. Saquon Barkley had a tremendous season, first year, and quick turnaround. Win the chip in his first year, coming from the Giants, who are a laughing stock of our division, of the NFC for real, to win a Super Bowl. So I'm gonna ask you this, Super Bowl AJ, 2X. Did Saquon have the greatest running back season ever?
Joe, this man Saquon, by the end of the year, playoffs included, had 2,504 rushing yards. This man Saquon had 18 touchdowns by the end of the year. 18, bro. Honestly, bro, if he didn't win the Super Bowl, I think we could still have a conversation about a few backs. Still have a conversation about, Terrell Davis and those type of guys. He was going to break the record no matter what. He's now the league leader in yards, including playoffs, in the history of the NFL. So you could make the case for a running back that winning the Super Bowl was instrumental in winning the Super Bowl if Saquon didn't win the Super Bowl. But the fact that he did win the Super Bowl, I don't think it's debatable, bro. Message to everybody who questioned why we rested Saquon Barkley. You see that confetti? You see this flag? That's why we rested Saquon Barkley. That's why we rested Saquon Barkley. Oh, but if y'all lose to the Packers. Oh, but if y'all lose to the Rams. It stopped when we seen the Commanders. People stopped saying that, like analysts. People stopped saying that then because it's like, okay, they didn't made it to the NFC Championship. Okay, I guess it was worth it. And he has a solid game against Shaw, first play of the game, and we got the ball. He running for his life out there, scoring a touchdown, breaking tackles left and right. He looked fresh all playoff run, bro. And something else I want to point out, AJ Brown said he wasn't even 100% for a close to into the Commanders game. Devontae Smith came into the playoffs with a banged up back. We saw offensive linemen in this playoffs as well, especially against the Commanders. I mean, we was rotating the centers in because those guys were banged up. So not only was my case for Saquon resting because I want him to rest and be refreshed, whether people wanted to own it or not, the rest of the guys on that offense needed rest. Even when we got rest, we was still hurting out there. So just imagine if we just tried to play straight through. Who knows how these games go, bro? Because we needed our offensive line against the Rams to create holes for Saquon, and we needed him to be on his game. And we needed him against the Packers as well. We needed him in every game. But I'm just talking about the games to start. Saquon Barkley opened this offense completely up. Granted, he didn't have an amazing Super Bowl. But them selling out to stop Saquon helped a lot. It helped a lot. You got a lot of one-on-ones. And, bro, they won all of their one-on-ones. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Jahan Dotson. They won all of their one-on-ones. Y'all blitzing? Oh, y'all selling out to stop the run? Jalen Hurts and those receivers said, bet. This is what we wanted y'all to do. Go ahead, let's play us one-on-one. All y'all got is Trent McDuffie, and Trent McDuffie was out there looking like food. So Saquon Barkley's impact on this team all season long made y'all forget Jalen Hurts was a damn all-pro. That's why he the greatest running back, had the greatest season ever, because he made y'all forget who number one really is, a guy that can still light it up when asked to light it up. It's the numbers, it's the impact, it's the fact that he concluded this season as a Super Bowl champion. I think it's not even close. It's undeniable that Saquon was extremely instrumental in pushing us over the top. We were already a great team. If we just assembled this defense, along with this offense, without Saquon, I still believe we'd have been a damn good team. I do, because I believe in Hurts. Like I said, I know what I've seen, especially with this defense, the way they played this year, and in this playoffs, the way they played this year. But with Saquon, it was a no-brainer we was getting to the bowl. The way he was playing, it was a no-brainer. If we get in this playoffs healthy, we are going to the Super Bowl, and we've seen them take over game after game after game, bro. So We could go down. I could list all the games he ran 60 yards plus and, 60-yard runs and 70-yard runs and all of that. Y'all watched the season. Y'all saw it. For me, all fandom aside, I'm not going to say he's the greatest running back ever. That's not the question. But the greatest running back season ever, I don't really think it's debatable, bro. I really don't. I think there's some guys you could throw out there for sure. But Saquon's impact for Philly, man, Saquon easily had the greatest running back season ever.
This is tough, but I'm going to go with Terrell Davis, man.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Terrell Davis, man. He's in a similar situation. Like, John Elway went to 3 Super Bowls and got blown out every time. He been knocking on the door. He got Terrell Davis, saved his life. Terrell Davis, I don't know if you remember this, AJ, but Terrell Davis in a 16-game season in 1997, he had 1,700 yards. He won the MVP that year. He won a league MVP. He won MVP. I'm tripping. It's Terrell Davis, bro. All right, let me tell you about Terrell Davis.
Okay.
In 97, he won Super Bowl MVP. Okay, cool. They won MVP. Went to the Super Bowl. Now he's on a glimpse of going back to back, which is tough to do. The second year, AJ, he has 2,008 yards, which led the league. 21 touchdowns, which led the league. MVP that year. And won a Super Bowl on a back-to-back season.
Is that the year you're referring to? That you think was the
year.
greatest? Okay.
1998. And then in that year, right, in the playoffs, I know Saquon had, 499 rushing yards? We have. Saquon had in the playoffs.
Somewhere around in there. I'd have to pull it up.
Right? But, here we go. Saquon, sorry, I'm messing up. He had 499 rushing yards in the playoffs, right, this year. Rushing yards. Terrell Davis had 468. So, he was right there with Saquon. So, the time that Terrell Davis did it, he broke the record. He had the most yards in a season total in NFL history. So, and Saquon played an extra game because I think they had a bye week. They only played 3 games. Saquon played 4 in the playoffs. He had a wild card game, a divisional round game, NFC game.
Super Bowl.
So, in the Super Bowl, Saquon was I'm not saying a no-show, but I mean, I'm gonna say he was kind of a no-show because they kind of shut him down that game. So I would say Terrell Davis had the best year. Saquon, though, if he would have won Super Bowl MVP, I would be thinking about him being a Hall of Famer after this 1 year, number one, because this would hands down be the best running back year in NFL history. But I'm going to give it to Terrell Davis. And the only thing Terrell Davis didn't do win Super Bowl MVP, John Elway did. So I'm going to say Terrell Davis.
This is what I'm going to say. Given those numbers, I feel you. But my rebuttal is this. Number one, you got to think about the team that's constructed around Saquon, bro. Not only does having those receivers help him, he also helps those receivers. Mm-hmm. And for us to come into a season, think about this now. A.J. Brown's an all-pro receiver, 1,500-yard guy. Devontae Smith is a guy in this league too. Not all-pro, but easily a 1,000-yard guy. Jalen Hurts, in my personal opinion, is a proven quarterback in this league before this season. Proven guy, all-pro, been to a Super Bowl without Saquon Barkley. He's done it. He did a lot before this season. And you insert Saquon Barkley in this season, and it took us 4 games to say, you know what? We're going to let bro carry the mantle. And everybody bought in. In a time in the league where the running back position is dying, bro. Impact. The running back position is dying. The running backs, you don't want to pay them. You're fighting for every penny, every dime. Correct me if I'm wrong. At that time, Terrell Davis was around. It's a running football league. Could be wrong, but it's a running league at that time. Right now, before this season, it was a passing league. You think about the best offenses in the league, you think about the quarterbacks. You ain't think about the running backs. You think the quarterbacks are the guys. Back then, you thinking about the running backs. Because at the time you had elite quarterbacks, but these running backs is really carrying. So I feel like the league was known for handing the ball up at that time. At this point, league wasn't really known for that. And I feel as though the impact of Saquon Barkley this season with this team, the way we just won, it just rejuvenated the whole running back position. It rejuvenated the whole position. Now I feel like teams and GMs are going to look at the running back position a whole lot differently than they did in previous years. We're gonna be willing to throw more money towards an elite talent at the running back position, because we've seen now elite talent at the running back position is back, and we could win a Super Bowl with an elite running back. At the very least, could be a decoy and make the secondary think twice. Make the defensive line, make the linebackers think twice. So numbers wise, I get where you're coming from. I understand. Terrell Davis, sensational talent, back-to-back Super Bowl. It's hard to repeat. So to come out there and ball like that back-to-back years, it's hard to repeat. But the way the league is constructed right now, what Saquon just did, special, bro. With all of this talent, man, ain't like he was still playing with the Giants and they just had a good offensive line and they leaned on that. No, we had A.J. Brown and Devontae like, yo, we kind of want the ball too. But the Eagles, a pass-first organization, people forget that. They like to pass the ball. Howie, Jeffrey Lurie, they like passing the ball, bro. They all decided, you know what, bro? This guy in the backfield is insane. We're going to hand it off, and it led us to this point. So that's why I believe the numbers combined with his impact on the league, I feel like shakes this up and makes it the greatest running back season ever.
All right. It's gonna be my last pushback. I know we gotta go to the next topic. My pushback for what you said, I think it kind of helps my point. Okay. So the fact that it was a run-heavy league back then, the focus is on the run constantly, right? Focus on the run. Now, don't get me wrong. In the regular season, Saquon Barkley averaged 5.8 yards per carry. Terrell Davis averaged 5.1. Which I think is tremendous back then. You average 5.1 per carry in the 90s. Whew. In the playoffs, Saquon Barkley averaged 5.5 per carry. Terrell Davis, 6 yards per carry. Ooh. With over 100 yards in the Super Bowl. So, like,
that's sick.
I gotta, like, dog, that's crazy. Shout out to Kyle Shanahan. He was the offensive coordinator. But, he was a Mike Shanahan was the head coach. So I'm sorry. I gotta do TD. But Saquon Barkley is literally very, very, very close. Saquon Barkley does get a lot of credit for me in the Hall of Fame category because of the times he's doing it in. Like, it's not a run heavy league, but Saquon's getting his touches though. It's not like he getting the same amount of touches your average running back in today's league. He's running the ball over 20 plus times a game. Like in the Super Bowl, he ran the ball 25 times.
He did.
In the Super Bowl.
He did.
You know, so, but Terrell Davis, man, had a crazy season. And then his season was off of an MVP year.
Yeah.
And winning the Super Bowl, that's tough. So
I feel like
Saquon will push that next year.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Saquon's team, again, being on a great team is a gift and a curse. I feel like Saquon's team is a part of the reason why he didn't win MVP.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
and the
because, it's a gift and a curse, man. You probably have more rushing touchdowns if it's not for the tush push.
No, facts.
But
I give you that.
You know what I'm saying? You have more rushing touchdowns if not for the tush push, but the tush push is such a guaranteed touchdown. It's like you gotta run it. You have to. Because I've seen Saquon get stuffed at the run a few times.
Seen him get 12 times this year. 12 times he got stopped at the one.
Yeah. So we've given him an opportunity to get in, and there have been times where he just ain't get in. And we went to the tush push next. So I do believe if not for the tush push, which again is a product of the talent that you have around you, you have more touchdowns and you probably win MVP.
No, he would have. He would have led the league in both categories for sure.
Yep. So I think so, but at the end of the day, I respect it though. I respect the Terrell Davis take. I respect that.
If we're gonna count Hurts tush pushes, we can't count the almost touchdown with Saquon.
I get it. No, I get it. I feel like it's a gift and a curse because as an Eagles fan, even if you take out my Hurts like fandom, when we get to that goal line, I want the tush, bro. Like, it's a guaranteed yard. It's a guaranteed touchdown. Run it.
Yeah.
Run it. Like, I don't care about the flashy. Just run it. You know what I mean?
I'm letting you know, they might ban it. After I saw Chris Jones in the sideline doing this, I said, dang.
Yeah, maybe.
They might ban the touch plays because the Chiefs is not liking it.
Yeah, that's fair. But hey, we got our Super Bowl with it, though. So I ain't too bad. Hey, we got our ring off of it. So thank you. Thank you.
All right. Now, listen, with the cherry on top, let's talk about the head coach, Nick Sirianni. On a hot seat early this year. I mean, you watched the media after that Buccaneers game during your bye week. Oh my gosh, it was chaos. It was chaos all over the media. When he started yelling at the Browns fans, chaos all over the media. When AJ Brown put out the book, chaos all over the media. So, AJ, let's talk about it. What does this season mean for your boy, Nick Sirianni?
Nick Sirianni is a guy I have not backed at all times like Jalen Hurts. I haven't. And that's, again, dating back to 2021, where I'm like, yo, this man can't call plays. He cannot call plays. Now, situationally, he can be great, especially that year. Situationally, he was really good, right? As far as galvanizing the team, he was really good. But as far as calling plays, he could not call plays, bro, to save his life. It was horrible. It was terrible. But the Eagles don't win these games without him. They don't go to the Super Bowl without him. They don't have the success that they have had without him. There's something to be said for understanding I might not be the smartest one in the room. So let me give Steichen this opportunity to be the offensive coordinator and run it. Last season, I took over play calling from Ben Johnson. I made some plays here and there. I fired my defensive coordinator halfway through the season after we lost to, I believe, after the Cowboys lost. This year, you know what? We're going to bring in Vic Fangio. We're going to bring in Kellen Moore. They're going to run it. And my biggest thing for Nick Sirianni, because I was one of the one, and I see this is what I mean. I'm not going to be a fake Eagles fan. I was one of them ones on the front line after what I seen last season. Get rid of Nick. I was one of them ones, bro. I ain't trying to see Nick. But what I also said, the only way I'd accept Nick coming back is if we got rid of both coordinators. And whoever you brought in has experience, so he not trying to take over play calling. And what did the Eagles do? They kept Nick, brought in Kellen, and brought in Fangio. And like I said, they took over. So my biggest thing for Nick coming into this season, CEO coach, you are not calling the plays on offense. You are not calling the plays on defense. We know that. Situationally, you making decisions, but you are not calling the plays. So the two things I need you to be A1 at this season, and I mean A1. Number one, I need you to manage the locker room because it's a lot of egos in that locker room, bro. Jalen Hurts, people don't, he ain't going to say it. Jalen Hurts got an ego. You can see it. Now, he pushed it to the side, but you could see it during that Commanders game when he scored that touchdown. He's like, yo, this is what I can do. This is what I do. Like, let me do this. You know what I mean? But he let me out of my straitjacket. It was a joke, but it was a lot of seriousness to this because, like I said before about Jalen, he has shown what he can do throughout the trajectory of his career, but people seem to forget. A couple bad games, one down season, they seem to forget. You got to manage that. Like you said, AJ Brown, passing. You got to manage that. You got to manage him on the bench, reading books and how people going to take that. BG came out and said what he said. Now just everybody talking, fresh off of what happened last season. Is it going to happen again? And Nick Sirianni on the front line was the first person we heard from, and he shut it all down and told the truth. We had a meeting. I talked to everybody. I talked to them all every day, and we are good. He had one of the best press conferences, and I watched all of them. Post that debacle, he had one of the best coaching press conferences as far as killing the noise I have seen from a Philadelphia Eagles head coach. And I didn't expect it from Nick. I did not expect it from Nick. But his level of maturity elevated so high this year for me. Not only with managing the locker room, because, again, you got to manage all of those egos. Saquon getting the ball a whole lot. AJ not happy about it every game. Devontae not happy about it every game. Dallas Goedert not happy about it every game. It's some guy, even Dotson. Guys want the ball. Jalen want to throw. Jalen want to run. But I'm going to get these guys to buy into my core philosophies because that's my biggest job right now, developing those relationships, maintaining those relationships, get these guys to buy into this system and sell them on, if y'all buy in, we are going back to the Super Bowl. So there's that aspect of it. You have to manage all of these egos. We've seen every coach can't do that, especially with this amount of talent. We've seen every coach can't do this. But then you go to the in-game decision-making. Joe, situationally, to start the year, he was terrible. Oh, he was terrible. He never wanted to settle for kicks. He never wanted to punt. He wanted to go for every fourth down, whether it was in the red zone or not. He wanted to go for every fourth down. I remember vividly the Saints game. Bruh, the man didn't want to kick no field goals. I'm like, Nick, we got one of the best kickers at the time, at least I felt like. We got one of the best kickers in the league, bro. What are you doing? Why are you not kicking these field goals? But you know what I noticed as the year went on? Jake wasn't making the field goals that he was given to make. So I'm thinking like, yo, did Nick see something that us fans didn't know in practice? And that's why he was going for more fourth downs? But even then, you know what Nick did? Nick went in there and gave that young man confidence. Gave Jake Elliott confidence. Not only by words, but by actions. No, I'm going to settle for more field goals. Whether you make them or miss them, I'm sending you out there again to kick. And you're going to get it. We know you can kick, bro. We're going to get this confidence back. I'm not about to make you feel like we don't trust you enough to kick these field goals in pivotal moments in games. And he made some and he missed some. But by Super Bowl time, Jake ain't missed a single field goal. Didn't miss a single field goal. Didn't matter where it was from. Didn't matter if it was an extra point. Didn't matter if it was 48 yards, 50 yards. It didn't matter how long out it was. He made every single field goal. Why? Because he had the confidence, not only from his teammates, but his head coach to say, look, bro, we're going to need you tonight. We're going to need you, bro. And I'm not going for every fourth down. I'm going to go for some because I trust those other guys, too, to get first downs in the score. But I trust you, too. We're going to need you to kick some big-time field goals in this game. And he did all game long. It got to a point in the game, Joe, where I wasn't even sweating. Jake gonna make this. He's in the groove. He's in the rhythm. So Nick Sirianni did his job this year. He did his job this year. He had his team ready. Post-bye, he had his team ready and prepared. He made his mistakes, but he learned from his mistakes. He managed the locker room to the best of his ability, and it resulted in a Super Bowl win. And the biggest thing, too, I really do feel like Vic Fangio and Kellen Moore helped him. Because, again, nobody makes better adjustments coming out of halftime than the Chiefs. Even though we had a 24-0 lead, I still was a little like, all right, let's just see. They get the ball first coming out of halftime. One touchdown and a turnover, one touchdown and a 3-and-out. We could look up. It could be 14, 24, like that, and it's a game again. But we came out more prepared than ever. Sealed the deal in the second half on both sides of the ball. Went for the kill shot to Devontae Smith when we needed to go to the kill shot. And he coached his ass off. Excuse my language. He coached his butt off, bro. So this, for me, solidifies him as a premier head coach in this league. The man is now, he has the highest win percentage of every quarterback in the league right now, or every coach in the league right now. Just like Jalen Hurts, he's been to the playoffs all 4 years. He's now facilitated and stopping the three-peat. He's a Super Bowl champion and a two-time NFC champion. Line that resume up to some of these other coaches that we put at that level, and we'll see who resume look better. I got to go with Nick Sirianni. I think he's a top 4 head coach. And the last thing I want to say, top 4 head coach. The last thing I'm going to say about Nick Sirianni is this. It frustrates me as a Hurts fan to always have to recycle coordinators every year. Every year. I feel like Jalen Hurts is on his 10th offensive coordinator since college days. But these head coaches go on getting jobs, and it ain't all because of Nick. It ain't all because of Jalen Hurts. His coaching tree, Shane Steichen, a head coach. Kellen Moore just is a head coach now. Ben Johnson, I think he went and coached for y'all. He's not a head coach because he just had a rough year. But in these now 5 years that he's been the head coach, he's facilitated in these wins. And the coaches that he had at coordinator positions, can't forget about Gannon, defensive coordinator in 2022. We got 3 head coaches off this coaching tree in 5 years. Again, we only say that about guys like Brady, or guys like Belichick. I mean, guys who are elite at the coaching position. Shanahan. Like, we say that about the best of the best. These coaches leave and they go get jobs, bro, as the head coach of the league, the head coach of their teams. So for all of those reasons, man, it gives me confidence going into next season that he's going to make the right decision at coordinator offensively, because our defensive coordinator is now set. Vic don't want to go nowhere. So it gives me confidence that he's going to make the right decision at offensive coordinator. And it gives me confidence going into the next season, knowing no matter what, he's going to be able to manage this locker room, which was a question after 2023. He's going to be able to manage this locker room. He's going to get everybody to buy in, because now we Super Bowl champs. How can you not buy in? The man know what he's talking about. How can you not buy in, right? And the man just going to keep winning, bro. I have confidence in that when it comes to Nick. I have confidence in my coach. I don't, as much as it irks me, and I know we're going to start season slow with new coordinators, I trust Nick. And that's something I wasn't sure I was going to say at any point. But I'm at the point now, all his antics, his energy, the stuff that he does, man, the team, they play around that. That galvanizes these guys. They play for him. So I think this means Nick Sirianni has a job for the foreseeable future with us. And I think he top 4. I had to go down the list of coaches, but I think he top 4 easily in the NFL, bro. Easily at this point.
Man, Nick Sirianni. I think I made him top 4 going into the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And I know you asked me, Joe, if he win the Super Bowl, will you at least put him above Sean McVay? I'm thinking about it, AJ. I haven't finalized it yet. I'm gonna come out with an announcement of his top 5 head coaches, and then I'll make it damn. It's debatable. It really is. It really is.
Teaser for y'all. Make sure y'all tune in.
Yeah. So my gripe with Sirianni, there's been rumors that I've been killing him because of him going for it. The only times I really got on him like that was against the Saints game, because our defense was playing tremendous, and I felt like there was no reason to go for it to take the points. And the Jaguars game, going for 2 and all that stuff, like those 2 games were the games I was like, all right, Sirianni, what you doing?
Come on, bro. Yeah.
All right. But 2022, I'm clipped up on that too. For y'all who want to make narratives of me, right? I'm clipped up on that. I praise Sirianni for his gutsy calls and going for them 4th down. I praise Sirianni on his situational football. Like when there's a play that Devontae Smith dropped the ball, he quickly get them back up to the line. Like, come on, throwing the challenge flag, all that stuff. Sirianni does a good job at.
Yep.
Play calling, you mentioned it earlier in the segments, right? It was terrible with Jalen Hurts. Even last year, I remember Cal was like, yo, he's sabotaging our coordinator. I remember Cal was saying that. And then I didn't really blame Hurts. What I said about Hurts last year was he's supposed to be the leader. He gets a lot of credit when y'all win. He got to take some blame for this crumbleness. But Sirianni took most of the blame for me with that. And then even earlier this year, I don't know if you remember, after the Bucs game, I came on here and said, yo, y'all haven't scored on the first quarter yet. Y'all the only team haven't scored in the first quarter. I'm like, y'all had like 16 missed tackles. Y'all wasn't ready. Sirianni don't have y'all ready. But I got to give him props. He had y'all ready in the 2 biggest games y'all ever played this year. He definitely had y'all ready against us.
Mm-hmm.
And he definitely had y'all ready against the Kansas City Chiefs. It was payback, and you can feel it. Literally, you can feel the payback. We want payback on the Chiefs. And Sirianni had y'all boys ready. Vic Fangio, last time I checked, he handpicked Vic Fangio. He handpicked them. He wanted him a year and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't get him, went to the Dolphins, and then went and got him. Kellen Moore, I don't know if he picked Kellen Moore.
He picked Kellen Moore too. He had more to say he had more to do with Kellen Moore than he did Vic Fangio.
That's a bonus for him, because Kellen Moore's name was getting killed in Dallas. Killed. He was getting all the blame. He was a scapegoat. He was a scapegoat.
Not to cut you up, Joe.
Go ahead.
We brought up the conversations we was having in the offseason about Kellen Moore, if we could win with him.
Yeah, I remember y'all was like, well, Hurts ain't that.
And the Eagles not Dallas. No shot at them right now. But the Eagles are not the Cowboys, bro. I'm just saying, bro. Just saying.
Yeah. I was having a ball listening to no conversation. I'm like, but it was funny hearing y'all defend Kellen, but then it was because Kellen with y'all and not with them. But that just shows you Dallas is some I don't know. But he handpicked his coordinators. Part of being a great coach is I say this is why I put him in my top 4, right? Part of being a great coach is picking the talent. Nick Saban is the greatest coach in college history, but guess what? He's one of the best talent pickers in history. His recruiting class is crazy. John Calipari, good coach, but he's probably a better recruiter. So it's all about getting the guys. And when you got the guys, manage the egos. We see a lot of super teams that don't make it because the Eagles aren't managed. We see that all the time, AJ. Just because you have the great team don't mean it's gonna flourish to victory. So shout out to him for doing that. Now, 2 interesting stats that stood out to me. All right. Andy Reid is an Eagles legend. Sirianni, in 4 years, 6 playoff wins, which is second behind Andy Reid, who had 10. Andy Reid, y'all went to 5 NFC championship games. 4, sorry, with the Eagles, I think. 4.
Somewhere around in there, yep.
And he already about to, if he, another wild card team, next year and get the Super Bowl and win, he will tie Andy Reid. That's crazy. But this is the one that got me right here, AJ. And Nick Sirianni, in his first 4 years, he's the 3rd quarterback in NFL history to go to 2 Super Bowls in his first 4 years. The other 2 head coaches, Mike Tomlin and Joe Gibbs. That's big.
Yeah.
That's big. And when I saw this stat, I'm like, I don't know. He might go number 3, but I'll think about it. That's big, man. I don't care how good your team is as a head coach. In the NFL, it's hard to win. The hard, especially like you said, all these egos, and to be able to switch up your whole philosophy that you used to, that you normally do, being a pass first team, for switching your whole philosophy and running the ball with one running back 25 to 25 times a game. I gotta give him credit for that. So Nick Sirianni, man, with this win, what this season does for Nick Sirianni, it puts respect on his name. So next year when he have his outbursts, nobody's gonna question him no more. But y'all had turmoil in the locker room, and it looks like from the outside, right? Nobody gonna question it. Because a Super Bowl validates you. It does. And then next year, something happened. All they're going to do is say they stuck in their Super Bowl funk. What's it called?
Yes. Hangover, whatever it's called.
Hangover. Yeah. They're going to throw it on that. They're not going to throw it on nobody else. They're not going to throw it on Hurst or Sirianni and you, AJ Brown. They're going to say y'all going through a Super Bowl funk right now. So I give him his props.
That's all we can do at this point, Joe. Yeah, that's all we can do, man. Like I said, like the man, he earned it, and he really earned it for me because I ain't have no bias towards Nick. I ain't have no bias towards Nick, man. But I watched him again. I watch every Philadelphia Eagles game, bro. I watched him get smarter as games went on. Like,
let me just cut you off.
Yeah.
One thing you always do though, AJ, with Nick Sirianni, you mentioned that Hurst, your boy taking up for you. You need to take up for him sometimes.
Yeah. I've got on my boy about that because he will literally get up there and make himself look stupid trying to defend some decision Jalen Hurts and the team made. No, bro. Yeah, I drew that up thinking maybe we get an offensive or defensive pass interference. So, just take a shot there. And AJ in the locker room, bro, we did that. that was a decision. We a player's coach, bro. You could tell they really rock with Nick, bro. You can tell they really rock with Nick. And not to change the topic slightly, but I do want to throw some respect on Howie Roseman too. I think he my goodness. I mean, Howie, this team he built offensively, defensively, that's now 2 Super Bowls in 7 years. That's 3 Super Bowl appearances in 7 years for Howie Roseman. 3 different teams. 3 different teams, 2 different quarterbacks. 3 if you want to throw Wentz in there. Howie is insane, and I think Howie is going to continue to build the best way he can in order to win, man. I love seeing him in the locker room dancing with AJ Brown. I don't know if you've seen that video of him dancing with AJ Brown. Man, it's respect all the way around for me, bro. It's got to be respect all the way around for me, man.
Hands down the best GM. Hands down. Ski Mask Howie, man. I ain't gonna lie, that roster he built, man. When y'all drafted Jalen Carter, we was like, oh my God.
Yeah, bro.
and then making the 2 trades to get both your cornerbacks.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Quinion and Cooper DeJean, you know, making the decision to get rid of Carson Wentz, eating that dead money, and starting Jalen Hurts. He made some gutsy decisions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You know, he made
That
mistakes.
the fan
You know
base
what I mean?
didn't like, that the fan base was not cool with.
Exactly. Y'all signed Zach Bond, but nobody was talking about that for real. But when y'all signed dude from the Jets, what's his name again? Dude from the Jets.
Bryce Huff.
Bryce Huff. Like, he was a bigger name than Zach Bond. Everybody was like, oh, Bryce Huff. Bryce Huff didn't play all year for real.
Bro, he
And
was
look at
terrible.
Zach Bond. He was a player of the year candidate.
But what saved him on a Bryce Huff signing was Nolan Smith came along. It saved him. It saved him, bro.
Who he drafted.
Who he drafted.
In the first round.
It saved him. Even Jalix Hunt was solid in the Super Bowl. Like, this is his. He built this whole team, bro.
He did.
He built this whole team, bro. Like, so
You know?
he deserved a lot of credit too, bro. And them not giving up on Nick when we all wanted them to. Him and Jeff said we gonna keep Nick for a little longer, give him one more chance, and it resulted in a Super Bowl, bro. Like,
getting Saquon Barkley too. Nobody want to pay running backs. He went to go pay Saquon Barkley, and then Jahan Dawson trade. Y'all were getting killed for that. Him catching that pass. He was like, oh.
Man, yeah. Yo. He caught that one. He caught a crucial third down in that game too and ran for a first down. Like, Jahan played well, bro. Like,
get a start.
Yup. And obviously you made the trade for AJ Brown at one point in time. You know what I mean? You went and got Slay earlier on. Like, he made moves left.
Traded
and right.
with Dallas, gave him Micah and took Smitty. Smitty caught a TD.
Smitty caught a TD, bro. And has had a great start to his season, a great start to his career, man. So, yeah, bro.
I mean, the running back way, it's a wave. It looked like, right?
Yeah.
That's what it looked like. You know? So, yeah, man. I mean, Green Bay running back was top running back. They didn't lose because of him. He kept them in the game for real.
He definitely did. He definitely did.
So you see what the Ravens did this year? The Bills with James Cook.
Yep.
You know, James Cook leading the league in touchdowns. I mean, the reason why the Chiefs were one dimension. They couldn't run the ball.
Literally. And it's crazy because something else I forgot to bring up about Jalen Hurts. That's now 2 Super Bowls where his running backs did not play well running the ball out of the backfield, and he led us in rushing, bro.
See, I see.
But Saquon's different though because he opens things up. Though. He opens things up.
It was literally 7 to 8 people in the box every play except for third and longs. The first one though, y'all wasn't even trying to establish a run like that. Y'all did a little bit, but y'all just abandoned it and said, you know what, bro, Hurts, come on, man. Hurts threw his cape on that game for real. Like, he was going blow for blow with the Chiefs.
Man, when it mattered most, man, we just needed one more possession. This game made me feel like we should have won, and I don't want to dip back into that. We're gonna wrap up here, but that game made me feel like we should have won the first Super Bowl, bro. It made me feel that way, bro. And I know we can't go back and change the past. And Pat was sensational, but it just made me think, man, what if we had Fangio that year instead of Gannon, bro? Like, does he rattle off 24 straight points like this, bro? Or can Fangio scheme up something to get us one stop? Now, it helps that front four and not playing on that turf. It helps. But at the same time, Gannon made no adjustments, bro. He made no adjustments. Didn't send no blitzes. No, we couldn't get pressure. Didn't change anything. He just kept putting the same product out there and got the same result. So it made me feel like we should have won the first one. And even Jalen Hurts said it post game. They was like, "How does it feel to have 2 Super Bowls?" I mean, I'm sorry, one. He was like, "I should have 2." I should have 2. Like, I feel like I feel like that's been the sentiment in that locker room now. And I want to, matter of fact, I'm gonna save it for my last words.
Yo, Jalen Hurts, bro, he the most, like, I ain't gonna lie, he like, I'm like, bro, say something exciting, like,
bro. He still was just like, yeah, you know, I'm thinking he finna be lit. He still was chilling. Like,
you see him at Disney, bro?
Right, bro. He is.
He should have had AJ Brown at that thing or something. Like, somebody with some excitement, man. Like,
he like, bro, but it's like you love that in the leader, bro. You love that in the leader, bro. Like, he looked like after we won the game, it looked like he was locked in. Like, we got a game next week.
Yeah,
I'm
still
like,
processing it. That was his favorite 2-3 words. Still processing it.
bro. Yeah, because I do believe you. I do believe it was probably like, dog, we really did this, but it's not really sitting in the way because he played great in the defense. Like it wasn't close. That's probably what it really was. Like, damn, we really just
blew them out.
blew them out, bro. Like, sheesh.
Yeah, but all right, let's wrap this up. You know, I know AJ had a good time.
Oh yeah,
right.
Greatest episode of Unfazed ever, man. Greatest episode ever.
I know it was all flowers given all day.
Man,
all right, all flowers, deservedly so though. But my last words: shout out to the whole R2L network. Shout out to the whole R2L family in the chats, in the community. AJ had like a heartwarming message in the chat. Appreciate that message, man, for real. You know, hey y'all, AJ he going to parade, so make sure y'all. He's gonna be in the DMV area too, y'all. So if you in the chat, you know what I'm saying. Make sure y'all find a way to link up with AJ. Go say what's up to him, dap him up, something. All right, give him. I don't know. Ride past to beep your horn. I don't know. Do what you gotta do to say what's up to him. Exactly. All right. Shout out to everybody in the comment section. We appreciate y'all. Shout out to Tomo, for the super chat. We appreciate that. And shout out to our new member Taniqua. She a Eagle. This is Javon's girl. She a Eagles fan.
Hey, that's what's up. That's what's up. Welcome.
Like why Javon got so much smoke for her and this lady is an Eagle fan, right?
That's crazy. That's crazy. That is crazy.
But yeah, so hey, shout out to the Birds, man. Y'all deserve y'all were the best team this year, man. So deservedly so. Hey, I'm just looking forward to competing in these next years, man. I know, like, y'all winning, so us losing the way we lost, and y'all winning, I know it's gonna put like some fire under our GM.
Mm-hmm.
And we know to beat Philly, get that front four straight.
Yep.
On both sides of the ball. Front four straight. And that's what y'all focus on. Y'all focus on the D line and the O line.
Yep.
So I know we're gonna have that same mindset over here. So,
yes, sir. My last words are, man, first off, shout out to the R2L family. I rock with all y'all, like I said in that message. And that's real. I mean that for real. Some of that was emotion because we just won the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? I was really feeling it. But I mean that, though. I rock with all of y'all. Everybody that's viewing, I appreciate all of the views, man. Eagles fans, we did it. And I want to say, man, I just want to – sports means a lot to me. It means more to me than I feel like the average person. I was raised in a household, man, where it's God, it's family, and it's sports. That's what it is, man. And so this passion is real. It hit different when you win a Super Bowl, when you was a day one fan. It hit different when you had to go through the days of the dream team, the days of Donovan McNabb and T.O. beefing and losing in the Super Bowl, Donovan throwing up in the huddle. The days of Kevin Cobb and Sam Bradford, you know what I'm saying? All these makeshift quarterbacks that we had, all these receivers that we had that wasn't really doing anything until we got Alshon Jeffrey. I'm running with Freddie Mitchell and Todd Pinkston. You know what I mean? It means something when you was a day one of a guy like Lito Shepherd was my favorite corner before Asante Samuel. Sheldon Brown. It means something when you've been here, Joe, from day one. 04 Super Bowl, we lost. I had to wait till 2017 to see it again. We came out, we won. And I will tell you, losing in 2022, the feeling of a Super Bowl loss is worse than the feeling of a Super Bowl win, if that makes sense. Like, losing in the Super Bowl hurts way more than it feels good to win a Super Bowl. It's a weird feeling. But to everybody who questions, you know, you didn't even play for the team. Not saying people say that about more than just people like me. You didn't play for the team. You didn't do this. You didn't do that. These type of moments, they mean something to you as a sports fan. We got sports fans that deal with real life stuff. Hear me out. We got sports fans that deal with real life stuff. Real life stuff going on, from family issues to bills to school drama to whatever case may be. And the one thing they look forward to, man, I can't wait to watch my favorite team on Sunday. And if they lose, it ruins your whole week. Now all your problems come back to the forefront, everything hitting you. and it's just on you. But then you have moments like these where everything around you could be crashing, but you care so much about sports, seeing your team win, it just numbs any other pain you going through in life. Any other pain you going through in life, it numbs it. This means so much to me. I'm getting in the car and driving 18 hours to go celebrate with my team and my wife and my friends. That's how much this means to me. So I just want to say thank you, Philadelphia Eagles, bro. Y'all don't know how much as a fan I needed this. I feel like I'm experienced the city. I feel like y'all don't know how much the city needed this. Jalen Hurts now, one of only, 6 quarterbacks to win the Super Bowl MVP and the All-Pro, with Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers, and Patrick Mahomes. To have a validating moment like that, man, for your favorite player on the biggest stage, man, it almost brings you to tears. I ain't gonna do this. It almost brings you to tears. But I just want to say I rock with everybody, and it means the world to me, man. It means the world to me.
All right, y'all. So we got for y'all today, and we'll see y'all next episode.
we remain unfazed, but we remain unfazed.
Unfazed. Let's get it. Thank you for staying to the end. If you're watching this on YouTube, please like this video, subscribe, and also hit that notification button so you can be notified next time we put out a video. If you're listening on any podcast platform, subscribe and hit that notification button, y'all, so you can be notified we put out another podcast audio. And last but not least, hit that share button. No matter what you're listening to or watching it, hit that share button and send it to somebody that you know that would love to watch this episode you just listened to. So once again, thank you for staying to the end, and we'll see y'all in the next episode.